Hey guys, tall guy here, Colorado real estate agent. It's 6 p.m. on a Friday night, and I am still in my magnificent office, which I'll be adding on to some cool stuff sometime. But anyway, I'm coming up to my 1 year in real estate, and I'm just thinking about all of the different challenges and things and how my perspective has changed since I started in real estate. And, I was just thinking about it today because I just accepted an offer for my sellers and we got off the phone. It was like a high five and a congratulations. And I just am thinking back to last August when I was in the military and I was on a night shift working from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I was like, oh my God, like, what is life gonna be like when I actually go get my real estate license? This is crazy. Why am I doing this? So I feel like for me, how my perspective has changed is like back when I was in the military and I was in that orbit analyst position, I felt like I would show up to work and it felt like a burden. It felt like, okay, I have to sit here, I have to just stare at the screen, I have to not fall asleep because then if I fall asleep, then I might get in trouble. And I was always scared about getting in trouble. It's like really weird. And now it's 6 p.m. on a Friday night. I've been working since the wee hours of the morning and I'm excited. Like I'm here. I could make a couple more calls. I could sit down here and start thinking about, what the next thing to do in my business is going to be. And so I feel like that's really changed my perspective a lot, is that work can be something that you're really fascinated by. Whereas before I was just kind of like, oh my God, I gotta drive out to Schriever and just freaking sit here and make calls. That's another thing too. I just hated making phone calls. I remember I would just sit there and whenever I had a call like an engineer or something, I dreaded it. I'd just be like, I wouldn't make the call sometimes and I would just wait there for like 5 minutes when I knew I had to make an important call. And then I would do it because I had like really bad call anxiety. And when I first started in real estate, I definitely had bad call anxiety. Definitely, definitely, definitely. But nowadays, especially if it's for my clients, I get on the phone with anybody. I get on the phone with Joe Biden right now. And I just tell him, hey, my client needs something, Joe. So I guess that's how I've changed since then. And I also feel like I walk into rooms with different energy too. Like it's just a much different energy. It was before I wasn't sure really what I was capable of in terms of like if I was just out on my own in the world. Now the military, granted, there's a lot of things with the military that taught me a lot about discipline and how to structure my day. But it felt like everything was kind of handed to me. Everything was handed like boom, here, boom, here. Here's your food, boom. Here's your living situation. Okay, now it's time to go to the next level. Here's your promotion. And now with this real estate stuff, when I dove headfirst into it back in last August, I was very taken aback because I wake up every day and nobody just hands it to me. No one says, "Oh, hey Brandon, hey yo, good news. Here's everything." And it's not like that it's not like that anymore. Granted, Darren does give me leads and he does give me deals. So, caveat to that, Darren helps me out a whole bunch, and so does a lot of my lenders. They're all real good people. So, I think for me, the biggest difference from when I was in the military as opposed to now is now I have to be super self-driven or there ain't no money coming in. And not only that, but I'm also then directly failing people in the biggest decision of their life. And that scares the hell out of me. That really scares me sometimes. That, if I'm lazy or if I suck, then these people, their money, their dreams, and all this other stuff is all just gonna go to crap. And I really hate the fact that some people really would just let that fall through, And so I'm always just afraid of being the person that lets somebody down. And I think it was really bad at first, especially when I first started doing this stuff. But now that I'm more experienced, that I keep that anxiety with me because it's what protects my clients from running into a situation, because I'm always thinking, okay, like what it could be going wrong, what could we be doing better, because I'm afraid of letting people down. But now I don't feel like that's even a possibility, because I have so many systems and things put in place that if something falls through one crack, it just immediately gets caught on the second one. And so I feel like as I'm building my business, I feel less and less and less anxiety about letting people down, because I put all these people and systems in place in order to actually prevent anything from falling through whatsoever. I bulletproof all my transactions. If I put a house on the market now, everything is put in place so that the house is going to sell, right? And I just, coming from that perspective, I think in a year from now, I'm going to look back and be like, yo, I don't even know what I was thinking. I should have been doing X, Y, and Z. I should have put my money in these different places. But that's another thing too, is that I would have never thought that I would be spending like $4,000 a month or something like that on paying people to do stuff for me. I would always think like, oh, I could just shell out my time and that will fix everything. Well, lo and behold, it actually doesn't work that way. That in order to help people, sometimes you need to actually relinquish control, and you need to give trust to other people. Because the simple fact of the matter is, I'm not a good editor. I'm not a good brand marketer. I'm not like a genius when it comes to all these other different things. And so I started hiring out. And so I had to hire people, and then sometimes those people screwed me over, and then I had to fire people. That was uncomfortable. I hated having those conversations. But everything becomes easier when I start to think, okay, well, if I'm serving people, and I'm serving people who are trusting me to help them buy or sell a home, then I don't have any time for anybody's incompetence. Or I don't have any time for people who are constantly making mistakes, or ruining my deals, or they're doing something and screwing my clients over. And so now I'm slow to hire, but then I'm quick to fire people too. And so that's been a huge shift of mindset. Like I have no patience now for people who drop the ball for my people, because it's a reflection of me. And I know when I'm put in positions, I don't drop the ball. And so there's a lot of other things I could talk about, but I'm going to talk about a couple other things, from here on out. Probably some buyer's tips or some seller's tips. A lot of interesting stuff with that stuff and what's going on in the market. But we got the podcast coming up pretty soon. It's called Better Call Tall. And that's going to be in a professional studio. It's very Joe Rogan style kind of deal. I don't know if even I'm ready for that kind of level of exposure and constantly talking, but it's going to be a lot like this, where I'm just talking to the camera. I'm going to be talking a lot with the lender, Rich Dillman. And so we're going to be going over a bunch of different concepts. I'm going to keep it as interesting as possible. I don't want this to just be cookie cutter, like another boring show. It's not going to be boring. That's the one thing I don't want it to be. It could be educational. That's cool. It could be a lot of information. That's great. But one thing that I cannot have with this new podcast coming up is that it's going to be boring. I cannot allow that. So that's something that I'm really going to focus on, is making sure that when people will tune into this podcast, they're getting quality content that's going to keep them coming back for more. And so that's pretty much what I got going on right now. I'm going to be doing more things like this and just talking to everybody. So if you want to tune in. I really appreciate y'all, everybody who's, supports me. There's countless of you, whether you've done business with me or you haven't. I just know that there's a lot of people who really support me and support what I'm doing. So thank you. I appreciate you. All right. Now y'all have a good one. Peace.